Hi everyone,
Hey
welcome to RV
there. I
Afterlife.
said hey there. You cut me off.
Sorry. Well, we have spent 3 wonderful weeks in Idaho, and we're on our last stop of the tour. Today we are going to be exploring, over the next few days actually, the town of Twin Falls. And of course, as you know, Twin Falls is the home of the famous Shoshone Falls.
It's famous, all right. It's almost non-existent at this point in the year.
Yeah.
There's enough to make the rocks wet.
Well, we decided to pay for it anyway and come in the park and see what there was to see.
We thought if we look through squinted eyes, we'll be able to imagine the falls, the water.
There are little falls that are happening right now, but just a little bit about Shoshone Falls. I did not know this, so maybe other people don't. It's known as the Niagara of the West.
That's a stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a stretch today. Normally, of course, it is flowing like Niagara Falls, but not today.
I guess the people that gave it the nickname weren't here in September.
I guess not. But anyway, this is a beautiful area, and we'll
Even without the falls.
try to share some of that with you. And we've got a few things planned. Not a ton. We're only here for about 4 days before we head south. But just want to take you along and see what we can see.
Yeah.
So here we have it, Shoshone Falls, billed as the Niagara of the West. However, by September, apparently it's pretty dried up, but still very beautiful. I think we'll get a postcard and insert a picture of what it's supposed to look like. But the whole valley around is so beautiful.
I'm just like, I want to go this way, but
I'm just going to do a span around. This is on the opposite side of the canyon from the falls, and you can see a small falls there, and the beautiful Snake River. There are kayakers down in the water. Looks like quite a few. There's an electric plant tucked in up there. And as the lady at the gate said, she said it's just a couple of wet rocks today, but it's actually flowing. It's just that when you know how much it can flow, it's less than that, but it's still beautiful. This is just a different view, but when we were at the upper deck, I didn't notice that cave that's right there in front of us. Right there. The lake you see up there at the top, above the dam, is called Dirk's Lake. When you pay to get into the park, you can go either to the lake or to the falls. Or both. The rock formations are just magnificent. I overuse that word, I know, but wow. This is what the falls looks like in the spring, so you might want to plan for May. And this is just a picture of the beautiful Snake River. So this is the trail going down to the waterfall. Ooh, I thought the guy said it wasn't a bad trail. In fact, the woman
You want me
said,
to go first?
"We took my 80-year-old mother-in-law on it."
Watch this rock. I don't know how sturdy it is. It moved a little bit underneath. Let go.
Yeah. Between the two of us, we'll end up falling. I think I'm okay. I don't know that I want to go all the way. Oh. That is so cool. I'm good. Now this is what we expected at Shoshone Falls yesterday. Well, I think we're going to get a tiny bit wet, but how often do you get to walk behind a waterfall? Well, we are getting good drops on our head. Feels kind of good on this 80-some degree day. This is what it looks like from behind the waterfall.
Walk a little bit.
Well, we won't miss this one since we've got 2 cameras going on it.
This almost makes the whole trip to Idaho worthwhile.
This is way cool. The Perrin Memorial Bridge is the only place in the United States where it is legal to jump off the bridge. It's called base jumping. I'll share that with you. The twins of Twin Falls are representing angels or guardians that greet the sunrise and sunset that overlooks Twin Falls, Idaho. Base jumpers come from all over the world, and you can see them almost any time of the day in decent weather. You'll see that some of them jump individually. There are sometimes teams that jump. You'll also notice that some of them have packed parachutes, and some of them just throw the parachute up in the air when they jump off the bridge. It's astonishing. The jumpers fall 484 feet to the water, and the goal is not to hit the water, but if you do, there's usually a boat there that is able to help pick you up. The goal is also not to hit the trees, as some of the jumpers did. But there is a very tiny target, and that is supposed to be their goal, and very few of them actually hit the target. But kayakers hang out below the bridge. I don't think my zoom is going to be good enough for you to see this. But right up there in the middle of the bridge, you can see a group of people walking. And this is the craziest thing. They call it base jumping. There are people that have helmets and parachutes on, and they're gonna jump. So, let's see if I can control this gimbal enough to get good pictures of this. Okay, I think there it goes. The goal is that little target at the bottom. Oh, looks like he's gonna make the target. Nice.
That's all you want.
We are overlooking the spectacular Malard Gorge. You would not even know this was here if you were passing by on the highway. You can see in the background. It is part of the Thousand Springs State Park. I'm not sure I totally understand it, but Thousand Springs is the name of the overall area, and then there are 5 different regions. The brochure said 6, but the lady on the phone said 5 regions that are part of Thousand Springs State Park. It costs $7 to get into the parks for a day, and I would not have even noticed this, but if you look real close, I'll try to zoom in. Roger pointed out that there's a waterfall tucked back in there, and it looks like it's flowing pretty good. This gorge, they said, is just full in the spring, and it runs about 5 miles before it connects with the Snake River. Here is another view of the gorge. The park department has a real cool self-guided tour that you just download the scan, and it gives you all kinds of details. One thing about this area is I didn't realize that this is considered a desert. We just got back in the truck and I told Roger that it feels like this, it just feels like desert heat. It's hot, it's dry, not humid. And then I get down here to this station and find out that it is a desert. This particular location is used by the Idaho Power Company, and as you can see, it's a hydroelectric plant. But the cool thing about it is the rainbow trout spawn in this river and migrate to the Snake River when they are 1 or 2 years old. And Idaho Power Company has built what they call fish ladders to help the rainbow trout stair step past the dams. Okay, so here's the third stop on the outlooks or overlooks that are available. And as you can see, the river is separate from that fish ladder they talked about. Looks like that fish ladder is quite long to aid in the migration of the trout. We are getting ready to take a little path that says it's the Devil's Washboard, but you got to take a minute and look at the delightful yellow flowers. From what I understand is still eroding the rock and making the gorge even longer. That's why it's called the Devil's Washboard. The highway is incredibly close to here, but if you can see it way off in the future, in the distance, you can see that there is another waterfall down there. I don't know where all this water comes from. They said in the springtime, it's the color of glacial ice. It's that blue, but the water's still coming from somewhere. I don't know if the shadows will show, but it's just the brochure said it's 2.5 miles long. This beautiful little park is part of the Thousand Springs State Park, and it's called Ritter Island. And there's just a nice little picnic area. Now, I understand there's a lot more to it, but you can see the bridge going across the river there, or stream, is locked. So there is more to the park that's not available to the public right now. But I hear that there is a waterfall close by, and I can hear it in the background. So let's go see. This is the craziest thing. We were driving through Idaho, nothing but fields and farms, and then all of a sudden we see this sign for it's called Ritter Island, and it's a power plant hydroelectric area. We drove down in here, and this is part of the Thousand Springs Park. There's this beautiful waterfall and a clear blue lake and a park down here. Oh, definitely better than Shoshone was. It's 90 degrees out today, and the water spray from the waterfall feels magnificent. It's hard to believe that this is in the middle of nowhere. And I always wonder, the people that found it first, how awesome that would have been. The falls hit on the other side of this path, apparently go underneath the path, the road, and come out with quite a bit of force. And you can just see the bright green plants that are living in this warm water down here. I said that those bright green plants live in the warm water, but there's nothing warm about the spray coming off. So you know, if I didn't know better, this looks like a scene from someplace in Hawaii. The way the moss and stuff is growing all over the canyon wall. It is beautiful. Who'd ever thought in Idaho? Not me. Turns out we only had time to visit 3 out of the 6 Thousand Springs state parks because they are so spread apart. They're probably 20 miles apart from each other. So we're stopped for the last one at Niagara Springs State Park, and we'll show you around. I have to say, if this was Florida, I wouldn't be getting this close to the water. But you can see over there behind the rocks where the spring is bubbling up. I don't know how many springs are in the water in this area, but the water is super clear. I know most it's not going to show up because the sun is shining on us right now, but very clear. I can see the falls go up higher behind this little bit that we can see from the park. But the park is just beautiful. Very clean, well kept. This particular one only has porta pots, but the last one we were at had a real nice restroom. There's a path that leads from the parking lot. Doesn't really tell you how long the trail is or how far you're gonna walk or where it goes. This is the canyon that surrounds the Niagara Springs State Park. Doctor just said it's almost like they're magic. They just come out of the rocks. Flows dangerously fast. Such a spectacular sight. I mean, just right inside this rock canyon wall. And this, I mean, it comes from, I don't know, you can see some more of it coming out all the way to the right. You kind of tell where it's at because it's where the vegetation is all green. There he goes again, getting up on the rocks. Too crazy close to the edge. All for a good shot.
I'm not crazy close to the edge, it just looks that way. Not even sure what the name of this canyon is unless it's part of the Snake River Canyon. But it is a spectacular view up here.
We hope you enjoyed this glimpse of Twin Falls, Idaho. We sure had a wonderful time there, and we will see you in the next video.